Hey, where'd this come from?
I found it.
Well, let's both put it.
The Exorcist is probably the most well-known cursed film of all time, and with good reason. The 1973 flick famously follows the demonic possession of a little girl, but its horror story production has become as legendarily scary as the movie itself. A freak fire burned down the set being used as the family home at the heart of the story when a bird flew into a circuit box. In a creepy twist, the only part to survive the blaze was the bedroom where the exorcisms are performed in the film. The crew even called in a real Jesuit priest, Thomas M. King, to bless the set after the incident. But arguably the biggest reason people believe the film is cursed is the number of chilling deaths associated with its cast. Jack McGoran and Vasiliki Maliaros, two actors whose characters die in The Exorcist, both died in real life soon after filming was finished. And even the stars were affected. Linda Blair's grandfather died during the shoot, and Max von Sydow's brother died the first day Max was on set. Jason Miller, who played Father Damien Karras, had a brush with death too when he was hit by a motorbike during filming.
The Thornes have been a family of tremendous wealth, position, and power. The perfect marriage.
Just 2 years after the nightmare of The Exorcist, filming began on The Omen. The film follows the nightmare of Damien Thorne, an adopted boy who turns out to be the Antichrist. Claims the film was cursed began 2 months before filming began in 1975 when lead actor Gregory Peck's son, Jonathan, shot himself dead. His plane was then struck by lightning, which is an unfortunate and unlikely occurrence in itself. But then executive producer Mace Neufeld's plane was also struck in a completely separate incident during filming. They'd also planned to hire a plane for aerial shots in Israel, but the airline switched the planes at the last minute. That proved to be a lucky escape, as the original plane crashed on takeoff soon after, killing everyone on board. But the chilling incident that really cemented The Omen's cursed reputation came in a horrific accident after filming wrapped. Special effects designer John Richardson, who designed the famous decapitation scene, was in a car crash while sculptor Liz Moore was in the passenger seat. Richardson survived the smash, but Moore was decapitated. He even claimed that when he stumbled out of the car, he noticed a road sign saying he was 66.6 kilometers away from the town of Amen. The crash took place on 13th August 1976, like Friday the 13th. Poltergeist 1982 follows the story of a family home being overrun with evil spirits seeking to abduct their young daughter. The supernatural horror was accused of being cursed as revenge for the film's inclusion of real human remains. In one scene, the actress Jo Beth Williams is dragged into her family's swimming pool. As she tries to get out, she bumps into decaying corpses and skeletons. "I assumed that they were prop skeletons made out of plastic or rubber," Williams said. "I found out, as did the whole crew, that they were using real skeletons because it's far too expensive to make fake skeletons out of rubber." There were several disturbing deaths associated with the movie, including that of Heather O'Rourke, who delivered the film's most quoted line, "They're here." She shockingly died in 1988, age 12, after suffering cardiac arrest and septic shock. And 22-year-old Dominique Dunne, who played O'Rourke's character's older sister, was strangled to death by her ex-boyfriend just 4 months after the film was released. Many years later, in 2009, Poltergeist actor Lou Perryman was hacked to death with an axe by an ex-convict who stole his car.
People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul.
The Crow, 1994, was supposed to be the film that would be the big break for Bruce Lee's son, Brandon. But Brandon was infamously killed in one of Hollywood's most notorious on-set freak accidents. The 28-year-old plays a murdered rock musician who returns from the dead to avenge the rape and killing of his fiancée as well as his own slaying. Just over a week before the film was finished, Brandon was involved in a scene where another actor had to fire blanks at him from a .44 Magnum. A dummy bullet from a previous scene was lodged in the barrel of the prop gun without anyone realizing. When the blank round was fired at Brandon, it shot the dummy bullet at him with virtually the same speed as a live round. Brandon was hit in the abdomen, and despite 6 hours of emergency surgery, Brandon died on the operating table. But Brandon's death wasn't the only terrifying accident on set. On the first day of shooting, an electrician on a cherry picker hit power lines and caught on fire. He survived but suffered third-degree burns and his ears had to be removed. Shortly after, a hurricane destroyed the crow's backlot. With Brandon's family's permission, the film was ultimately finished with a rewritten script and CGI. But it's considered one of the most cursed movies of all time to this day. Inspired by the mind-bending TV series Twilight Zone, John Landis and Steven Spielberg's 1983 film adaptation of The Twilight Zone suffered a horrific catastrophe during filming. The film follows the story of Bill Connor, played by Vic Morrow, a man who travels through time and experiences different kinds of prejudice in different eras. In one scene, Morrow was supposed to rescue 2 children from a burning village during the Vietnam War as a helicopter flew overhead. In an action-packed shot, a fireball from an explosion engulfed the chopper, and the pilot lost control. The spiraling helicopter dropped from the air, and in front of 100 people on set, crashed down right on top of Morrow and 2 illegally hired child actors, Micah Ding Lei, 7, and Shin Yi Chen, 6. Morrow and Lei were decapitated by the helicopter's rotor blades, while Chen was crushed to death. The horrific incident led to legal battles which ran for nearly a decade. But ultimately, the members of the production team accused, including director Landis, were acquitted of manslaughter. As we unravel the tales behind these cursed movies, it's clear that sometimes the real horror lies not only in the scenes captured on film, but in the inexplicable and unsettling events that linger long after the cameras stop rolling. Join us in the enigma of cursed films, where the boundary between the real and the real becomes a haunting narrative that lingers in the shadows of cinema history. If you enjoyed this journey into the supernatural side of filmmaking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more spine-tingling explorations. Until next time, may your movie nights be free of curses, but beware, the unseen may still be lurking in the background.